temple at Edfu, it had different rooms, and I'm going to try and put some pictures on the screen so you can see what I'm saying. They had different rooms in this temple, and each room had energy. You could see that the room was created with the focal point being the middle. And then there was an opening at the sky, and there was like a depression in the floor. And once you stood in the middle in that room, there's an energy vortice going, and it goes straight up through your body, straight up through the sky, and it works on your energy. And it's so palpable in these rooms, and I could tell which room was working on which chakra point, because I would enter the room, and for the root chakra, well, I didn't know that it was for the root chakra. I just entered the room and you feel the root chakra going boom, boom, boom. And then it's like my body starts to be pulled up. So from the root chakra, my body's like, and the same thing happened. I go in a different room, the next chakra, the next chakra, the next chakra, the heart chakra, my whole body was like, and I'll show you some pictures, because some of my friends took pictures of me and they're like, I'm like this, because the energy is like pulling on that chakra. It's so powerful. And that's the thing that I loved about Egypt. When you're in other parts of the world, you have to be so silent. You have to be so still. You have to be so still to feel the energetic realms, to feel the spiritual realms. If you are not still enough, you'll miss the whisper, you'll miss the little feeling of the energetic realms. In those temples, you don't have to do anything. That energy is palpable. That energy is pulling on you. That energy is pulsating through you. That's the beauty of the temples at Egypt. As soon as you set that intention, and I guess maybe even if you don't set the intention, you will feel that energy working for you. So definitely visit the temple at Edfu, because in each of those rooms that work on the different chakras, you feel the energy working. Not only that, I started to see the things that were blocking me. I started to see the situations in my root chakra. I saw what I was fearful of when it comes to making money, when it comes to allowing money to flow into my life. I saw the parts of my life in the past that created blockages, that cemented certain beliefs into my mind when it comes to money. I saw all the different things that were hindering my success when it comes to the different chakra points. And it also felt like I got a blessing at each of those rooms, at each of the different chakra points. It's a powerful, and as I'm saying this, I see this beautiful white butterfly flying across outside. I'm gonna take that as a sign. If you're going to Egypt, do not miss the temple at Edfu. And I do believe, if my memory is serving me right, it is the temple of Horus. Why did I pronounce Horus so weirdly? It is the temple of Horus. And there's just something about the energy that is radiating there that's going to be transformational. You know what it felt like? It felt like alchemy on a physical level. That's what it felt like. Very physically transforming alchemical changes happening for you at that temple if you approach it with reverence and in the right spirit. Because that's the other thing that people don't realize. Approaching with the right spirit is what makes the difference. Approaching it with the right spirit is what unlocks the doors, because these energies, or these energy systems, they are protected by energetic doors. If you don't have the right key, if you don't have the right energetic attitude, the right intention, those doors will not open for you, and you will not receive the changes that you need to receive. And I always know that I am channeling right on point when my hands start to move. When my hands start to move, it's the energy pouring through me and moving my hands. So that's another very important point. Don't rush going to Egypt. Go when it's aligned, because when it's aligned, your spirit and your energy and your intentions are in the right space to unlock the doors for these energies to activate and change you. Okay, so that's Edfu. Another super powerful moment was when we went to the temple that had the Sekhmet statue. Y'all, the temple of Karnak. The second place that you must not miss is the temple of Karnak. Amazing temple in and of itself. But the crowning jewel at the temple of Karnak is the Sekhmet statue. First of all, it's not out in the open. You can visit that temple and never see the statue. That statue is hidden away in a room. You literally have to pay some guards and they'll go and they'll take you to the statue, and you can be there for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes. Now, I've seen many statues in my life. It's Egypt. I've traveled around the world to many places. Many different places have different statues all over the world. There's statues from Christianity, statues from Buddhism, statues from Hinduism, statues all over. Y'all, you see, when you walk into the room that Sekhmet statue is in, it's as if you walk into an alternate realm. Before you even walk into the room, my friend started bawling outside. We didn't know what was in there. The guy just said, I have a special surprise for you. So we're all outside this room waiting to go in. My friend started bawling tears. None of us knew what was in there. So the energy was already permeating from the inside of that room. I have shivers as I am talking about this right now. The energy pouring out of that statue of Sekhmet is so strong. It's so palpable. And on that trip, we have people like me who are very sensitive to the spiritual world, or even more sensitive than I am to the spiritual world. People who've been working on energy for years and years and years. I only started doing this maybe 4 or 5 years ago. We have people there working on energy for 10 years. And we also have people who are a lot more analytical minded. They're open to spirituality, but they prefer the things that they can see and touch. No matter where you were on that spectrum, once you stepped into that room, you fell silent. The energy of that room silenced you. You could not say a word. You did not want to say a word. All you could do is stand in silence and look at the statue. So it's a tall statue of the goddess Sekhmet, and the energy pouring off is super strong. I could feel it boom, boom, boom. It was pulsing, pulsing, pulsing. And when you look at the statue of Sekhmet, it doesn't look like a statue. And I don't know, again, if it's because I can see into the spiritual realm. The statue is alive. I don't know what else to tell you, but the stone isn't dead. It isn't just a rock. The statue is alive and breathing and moving. And I don't know if it's because the amount of energy being poured off of it makes it, it's like the statue's it's the most alive, inanimate object I've ever seen in my life. The only thing I could say is that the consciousness of Sekhmet is definitely pouring through that statue. Because as you stood there and I told you I felt the energy, once I closed my eyes, I was drawn into another place where I could hear her speaking to me. I could hear her. She was upset about the way humanity was handling the earth. She said, we are the caretakers of the earth and we have been mistreating the earth. We have been mishandling the earth. She is unhappy about the way the feminine has shrunk in the face of masculine toxicity. And I'm coming back to that because there was a thread of that flowing through this Egyptian trip. There's a thread of that flowing through this Egyptian trip, and I have a feeling a lot of the women watching are going to be watching for a very specific reason. We're getting there. She wanted us to be strong in our power, find our center, hold our energy, reclaim our wisdom. It was just an amazing experience. Do not miss the temple of Edfu. Oh, this is not Edfu. Do not miss the temple of Karnak. And my last temple that absolutely blew my mind, the Temple of Isis. Now, this could be because I'm very connected to the consciousness of Isis. Even before I knew who Isis was, her energy was streaming into my energy field. And how did I realize that? It wasn't until my huge spiritual awakening in Bali that she started to come to me when I could see into the realms better. She started to speak to me, and I realized, oh, when I was 15 and this happened, that was that consciousness. When I was 20 and this happened, that was that consciousness. When I got the idea to just do this, that was Isis consciousness. I'm very, very connected to the consciousness of Isis. And when I went to that temple, y'all, I could hear her voice literally speaking to me. Go to this room, go to this place, go to... And you know what's crazy? So the temples are really dark because they're old ruins, right? So in order for tourists to be there and to be able to see what's on the walls, the hieroglyphs, and read the stories on the walls, they have to bring in lights at each corner of the room to shine up on the walls. The lights were out at the Temple of Isis. There was some issue, there were no lights. So when you stepped into these rooms, it was pitch black. And I know it was that way for a reason. I know I needed that because even when I do my energy healing sessions, I do my best energy healing work when it's darker. Why? Because I'm not distracted by the physical. When there's not much light, I can go inward. It's easy for me to go into the other realms because the physical isn't so bright and like distracting. And so what happened at the Temple of Isis, all of the rooms were dark. I just heard go in this room and I stood in the middle of the darkness. And y'all, when I tell you, when I stepped into the Temple of Isis after setting my intention, it was as if I was walking in a fully restored temple, how it was back in the day. I didn't see ruins. I saw all of the columns all the way up. I saw the writings on the wall perfectly restored. There were like gold writings on some of the rooms in the wall, on the wall in some of these dark rooms. The rooms are pitch black, you know. But when I step into the center, I see gold writing, like this bright gold light shining, and I could see what's written. And I heard a voice say towards the end, "You've always been able to see, but it's a bit fuzzy. This is where you receive your sight." And as soon as she said that, I heard touch this wall. And when I touched the wall, the scene opened up in front of me. And I could see like a temple and like an altar. I could see beings. I could see women, and they were singing. And literally I started to chant. And it's so weird because there were people looking at me while I was chanting. I could not stop chanting. And even up to this day, I don't know what I was saying. I was just chanting. And at first I tried to keep it low. Because I'm not on a private tour. We went early, so there was not too much people, but there's still other people around me. I was just chanting. I had my eyes closed, chanting. And the more I chanted is the more the scenes opened up for me. And it was as if I was at why can't I find this word? It was as if I was at like a blessing. Like it's as if the energies there were waiting for me to come and attend this blessing. I could see women chanting. I could hear them chanting. I was chanting with them, and Isis held my hands while I was there, and the chanting and the chanting and the chanting and chanting, and I could feel the energy swirling around me. I don't know what happened in that temple, but I know something happened in that temple. That temple, I went in one way and I came out another. There's golden energy flowing through me, golden light flowing through me. The more I chanted, the more that energy, that golden light flowed through me. It was amazing. And I'm going to share on the screen. I didn't get much photos here because I was too engrossed in what was happening for me spiritually to take photos. And of course, there was not much light. So there are very few photos, but I have one photo that was beautifully taken and really encapsulated what was happening for me. If you are a spiritual woman, do not miss the Temple of Isis. Do not miss the Temple of Isis. It is transformational for feminine activation. It is transformational for removing, because what it felt like it was doing was removing some of the BS that living in this toxic masculine world has placed around my energy field. Removing the BS, telling me I'm not good enough. Oh, my body doesn't look good enough. Oh, I'm not hot enough. Oh, I'm not this enough. Oh, to be a good woman, I gotta be this, I gotta do that. It was removing the BS and saying, you are enough. You are a goddess. You are a part of this consciousness. You don't have to prove anything to anybody. You are from this bloodline. This energy is flowing through your vessel. So wake up, take your space, stand firm, receive this blessing, and do not look back. Of course, that was my personal thing. Everyone's gonna have their own encounter. Everyone's gonna have their own version of activation and see their own things and have their own experiences. Don't miss the Temple of Isis.